It was one of those nights when silence felt heavier than sound. The world outside was sleeping, but inside her small apartment, she couldn't close her eyes. Not because of noise, but because her spirit felt empty. She stared at the ceiling, whispering, "God, did you forget me?" It wasn't the first time she asked that. For years she'd prayed, waited, hoped, and every door still slammed shut. Friends moved forward, dreams faded, her prayers seemed to vanish into the cold air. And that night, something in her broke quietly. She sighed, maybe heaven's just too busy. Then, the light flickered, once, twice, and the air around her changed. The clock on her wall stopped at 3:33 a.m. She didn't notice it first, but when she looked again, the seconds refused to move, frozen in divine time. A soft wind brushed across her cheek, yet no windows were open. And then, she heard it, a whisper, not from this world, not loud, but real. "Your name has been spoken in heaven again." Her heart skipped. What does that mean?" she whispered. The voice didn't answer directly, but the room grew brighter, as though invisible wings had passed by. Her tears stopped midstream, not from fear, but from a strange peace that flooded the air. Something holy was near, something that hadn't come for a long, long time. She looked out her window, and for the first time in years, she saw a single white feather slowly drifting down from the night sky, glowing faintly in the streetlight. "You were never forgotten," the voice said again. "Tonight, heaven remembers your name." And at that exact moment, the frozen clock ticked forward again. 3:34 a.m. A new minute had begun. A new destiny had too. She didn't know it yet, but that whisper was about to change everything. Morning light spilled softly across her curtains, golden and quiet, but her world didn't feel the same anymore. Something had changed deep inside her, though she couldn't explain it. Her alarm buzzed like every other day, her coffee tasted the same, her phone was still silent, yet her heart felt watched, not in fear, but in presence. She whispered to herself, "Was that voice real, or just a dream I wanted too badly to believe?" The question lingered like mist. For years, she had lived between faith and doubt, always waiting for something divine, always wondering if she'd missed her moment. Every unanswered prayer had become a scar, every delay had built a wall, and every silence from heaven had started to sound like rejection. But last night had cracked something open. She couldn't deny the clock that froze, the whisper that spoke her name, or that glowing feather that had no earthly reason to exist. Still, disbelief fought back. Her mind said, "You're imagining this." But her spirit whispered, "No, this time, it's real." As the day moved on, she walked through the city feeling strangely invisible yet seen. A little girl selling flowers stopped her and said softly, "These are for you. Someone said to give them to the lady heaven likes." She froze. "Who told you that?" But the girl just smiled and ran off into the crowd. Her hands trembled as she looked down. White lilies, the symbol of remembrance. The same flower she once placed on her mother's grave years ago when she prayed, "God, don't forget me like the world did." Her breath hitched. Tears welled. Was heaven echoing her words back to her? That evening, she sat at her old wooden desk and pulled out her forgotten prayer journal. Each page felt heavier than the last, full of ink, full of ache. Then she saw it, faint writing in the corner of the final page. It glimmered like starlight under her lamp. "I never stopped listening." Her heart dropped. She hadn't written that. The pen beside the book was dry, but the words felt alive. Her knees gave way, and she knelt beside her bed, sobbing quietly. Why now? Why me? After all this silence, why remember me tonight? No booming voice answered, only that same warm presence, wrapping her like sunlight after a storm. A whisper settled deep inside her chest. Because the waiting was never wasted, she pressed her hands to her heart and wept. Not from pain this time, but from release. For the first time in years, she felt seen. And somewhere between her tears and her laughter, she realized heaven had just reopened a chapter with her name on it. That night, the world outside was quiet again, but inside her heart, there was a sound she hadn't heard in years, stillness that didn't feel empty. It felt expectant, like the air was waiting for something to happen. She couldn't sleep, not because of fear, but because something inside her kept calling her name, not out loud, but in waves of memory. She lit a candle, opened her window, and whispered into the night, "If this is really you, show me what you're trying to say." The wind stirred, her curtains swayed as though unseen hands brushed past, and before her candle could flicker out, she heard it again, that same calm, steady voice, familiar now, not frightening anymore. "Daughter of the dawn, rise." Her breath caught. She turned toward the sound, but no one was there. Only light, soft, golden, almost alive, filling the corners of the room. And in that light, she began to see pictures, not random, but memories. She saw her younger self, praying, dancing, dreaming. Then she saw the moments that broke her, betrayal, loss, the day she gave up. Each memory flashed like a page turning in a divine book. "You thought I was silent," the voice said gently, "but I was watching the whole time. I was writing your story when you thought it was ending." Tears streamed down her face. "Then why the pain?" she whispered. "Why did you let me wait so long?" The light pulsed once, like a heartbeat. "Because what you called delay was preparation. Every no was protecting your yes. Every silence was building your sound. Every heartbreak was shaping the voice you'll use to heal others." Her knees weakened. Her heart pounded with a mix of awe and fear. For years she'd begged for an answer, and now heaven was unfolding it, piece by piece. Then the light began to move, gathering near her table where the feather still lay from the night before. It rose into the air, spinning slowly, until it pointed toward her old Bible on the shelf. She walked over, trembling, and opened it where it fell naturally. The page read, "I have called you by name, you are mine." Isaiah 43 verse 1. The words shimmered faintly as if the ink itself was breathing. And in that moment, she knew, this wasn't just a message, it was a calling. Something divine was awakening in her, a purpose that had slept under years of pain. Her story wasn't ending, it was only beginning, and heaven had just turned the page. Even as the light settled around her, a storm of questions rose within her soul. She felt the weight of disbelief pressing down like 1,000 winters. How could something so impossible feel so real? "Am I truly chosen?" she whispered, clutching the Bible to her chest. "Or is this just my imagination, just another fleeting hope that will vanish by sunrise?" Doubt began to creep in, subtle, like shadows stretching across a bright room. She thought of the years she had spent waiting, the rejection letters, the lonely nights, the dreams she had buried deep because the world seemed deaf to her voice. Her mind replayed the failures, each one louder than the divine whisper that now hovered in the room. "Why me? Why now? What if I'm not ready?" The candle flickered, and the shadows danced, almost mocking her uncertainty. And yet, through the fear, she felt a pulse, a presence, warmer than comfort, stronger than doubt. "Child of heaven," the voice said, not with anger, but with infinite patience, "you are not ready because perfection is not the requirement. You are ready because I made you. Every flaw, every scar, every silent tear, they are all proof of my design, not failure." Her hands trembled. The air around her shimmered like liquid gold, carrying the weight of truth that she hadn't allowed herself to believe. "But what if I fail again?" she asked, her voice breaking. The answer came not with words, but with understanding that reached her very core. Failure is not the opposite of purpose, it is the pathway to it. Your pain, your waiting, your brokenness, all of it is being transformed into power. You are chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are mine, and I will carry what you cannot carry alone. For a long moment, silence filled the room. She sank to the floor, overwhelmed by both awe and relief. The truth began to burn through the layers of doubt. She had been holding herself back, letting fear define her, letting the world's judgments become her prison. Now she saw clearly. The divine truth could not be silenced. She was not abandoned. She was not forgotten. She was deliberately prepared for this very moment. The angelic presence seemed to fold around her like wings, lifting her heart even as tears rolled freely down her cheeks. Every heartbeat whispered the same divine certainty. You are chosen. You are called. You are alive for a purpose that the world cannot yet comprehend. And in that revelation, her inner conflict began to unravel. Doubt was still there, but it no longer ruled her. The fire of divine truth burned brighter than her fear, and she realized, heaven had never stopped calling her name, she had just been too afraid to answer. Her spirit lifted, trembling but unwavering. The night had become a sacred altar, and she now understood. She could step forward, carrying both her scars and her calling, because she was not alone. Heaven had spoken, and this time, she would not turn away. The room seemed to vibrate with a frequency she had never felt before, a harmony that resonated through her bones, through every fiber of her being. The golden light pulsed gently, wrapping around her like a cocoon of eternity. She realized, with awe, that she was standing at the threshold of something greater than she had ever imagined, her own rebirth. A deep, celestial voice echoed in the space around her, not just speaking, but singing in layers of love and power. Child of heaven, your season has arrived. Tonight, the chains of doubt, the weight of sorrow, and the silence of neglect are broken. You are free. You are renewed. You are alive in a way the world has never seen. Tears streamed down her face, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming release of decades of burden. Every memory of feeling invisible, every whispered, "You're not enough," that the world had thrown at her, seemed to dissolve into the golden light. This is your moment, the voice continued, the night heaven remembered your name. And from this night onward, your life will carry proof that the impossible is possible, that the unseen is chosen, that the lost is found. She felt warmth radiating from the center of her chest, spreading through her heart, her limbs, until every part of her body throbbed with the promise of life restored. Every fear she had carried began to melt, replaced by a quiet but unshakable certainty. You are no longer defined by yesterday, the voice whispered. You are the living evidence that God never forgets. You are the miracle walking among the ordinary. The joy you thought was lost is returning, stronger than ever. The light that once flickered in you will now blaze. Her spirit lifted, soaring on invisible wings. She felt a surge of courage, confidence, and peace. Every room she would enter from this night forward would feel different. People would not only see her, they would feel the presence of heaven resting upon her. Go forth, beloved child, the voice declared, and carry this light. Speak with the power of faith, act with the courage of love, and shine with the radiance of eternity. Your testimony will inspire hearts, heal souls, and ignite hope in the forgotten. A final wave of warmth enveloped her as if the angels themselves had pressed their hands upon her shoulders. She knew, without question, that she was no longer the person who had walked into this night. She was chosen, she was crowned, she was renewed. Her name had been written in the scrolls of heaven, sealed with fire, and blessed with eternal favor. The golden light began to fade slowly, leaving behind a glow within her that could never be extinguished. She stood, trembling but empowered, feeling the presence of heaven whispering, "Remember this night forever. The night heaven remembered your name. The night your soul was awakened. Go now, beloved child. Shine, for the world is waiting for the miracle that is you." She took a deep breath, stepping forward into the dawn of her renewed life, knowing that from this moment onward, nothing, not doubt, not pain, not time itself, could ever dim the light that heaven had placed within her.